Hi, guys. Episode 43. And yeah, we are recording at night. And the reason we're recording at night is because tonight is actually Wednesday night. And tomorrow is Thursday when we usually drop the latest installment. But Kim and I are going to an event for the Chamber of Commerce that she's the president and CEO of. I'm going to escort her to a casino, so I'm looking forward to that. But we decided that we would record tonight rather than tomorrow, so that's why it's dark outside. Anyway, let's get back to my call from Mark Taylor. A little backstory. Mark Taylor was the CFO for Andy and John at DIC. And when Andy took over, Mark apparently either left or he was terminated. I'm not sure. I don't know what the story was on that. But I went through really 2 rough years, I'm telling you. Like I said before, I don't know how I made it through it, but clawing and scratching and calling everybody I knew, got whatever work I could get. So I'm sitting in this jacuzzi at this huge apartment complex that I'm in Woodland Hills, and I get this call, and it's Mark Taylor. And, sometimes your life can change on a dime. And he says, Jack, Jean started a new company now. He had a deal where he couldn't start anything for a couple of years, which makes sense. And he started a new company called DIC Entertainment, which was the perfect name for a company for Jean because he was globally trotting between Beijing and, not Beijing at the time, now Beijing, but between Tokyo and France and America. So he was all over the place. So started a new company called DIC. And Mark says that Mattel wants to reboot He-Man. It was a Filmation show, as everybody knows, before. And Filmation's parent company kind of went out of business, and that put a lot of pressure on Filmation. And John kind of swooped in under the radar. He had a tremendous amount of contacts at Mattel for many years and managed to get the show, or at least get an option. So Mark tells me, we're going to start out with you writing a series Bible and then 5 episodes. Sure. And, he was telling me stuff, and Mark and I played baseball together at DIC, so we knew each other kind of well. We had a nice relationship and still do. So he's telling me stuff that's getting me really excited. You don't think of a CFO, a numbers guy, as really being simpatico with creative guys, but Mark broke the mold in that regard. He was a creative guy himself and got along great with all of the writers at DIC, myself included. And he's telling me stuff that's really exciting. And he says, what Mattel wants to do is have you write the series Bible. They've worked with you on a number of projects. They really like you over there. And write 5 separate half-hour episodes. And we're going to string those episodes together. They'll be freestanding, but we'll bridge them so that we'll create a movie. I said, well, that sounds fascinating. I don't know why they wanted to do a movie. I know they weren't going to take it to feature film, that's for sure. So he says, if Mattel likes it, then we'll get a pickup for 65 episodes. Well, this was really exciting. So I said, okay, sounds good. So I said, what's the terms of my agreement with you? And he quoted me a figure. It was like, this was the first time in my life that I didn't try to negotiate up, okay? It was like unbelievable, okay? The episode fees were triple what I was getting, okay? I don't want to go too much into the numbers. And the series Bible, my God, it's like unbelievable. So I said, okay, Mark, I said, sounds just fantastic. He says, the only catch is you got to write the series Bible in a week. You got to write the 5 episodes in 2 weeks after that. So, the series Bible, I know right away. It's He-Man. I know all the characters and everything, or I know some of them. And I know it's going to be an 80, 90-page series Bible. It ended up being a 106-page series Bible for the New Adventures of He-Man. So I said, okay. I said, I'm your guy. I'm your Huckleberry. And we cut the deal. And I start writing the series Bible. Oh, no. First, we went to Mattel. So Karen Lee Brown and Deborah Galliani is there. I think Cassandra Schofhausen was there. And we go into a big room. It's not a conference room. It's like really a large size room. And there's some Mattel executives there, artists, Deborah, Karen, Cassandra, and they present the prototypes for the new characters. And they tell me the basic idea for the new show, which is that He-Man gets this message from a distant galaxy, 10,000 light years away, that they need his help because they're getting taken over by these mutants. And they ask him, as the most powerful man in the world, to please come and help them out. And it's going to be a couple of characters. Skeletor, of course, is going to come along. And it's going to be all new characters at this new location. And I got it right away. And I think that's part of the reason that I always got along so well with the toy companies, because I come from a business background. And listen, if you're a Masters of the Universe fan and you collect the action figures, how many He-Mans can you get? How many Man of Wars can you get? How many Skeletors can you get? There's a saturation level. You've got enough of the action figures. So they wanted to create all new action figures, which made a lot of sense to me. So they told me what the first wave of the characters were, 5 or 6 characters. Next wave would be released about halfway through the season, the 65 episodes. And they didn't push me at all to highlight any of these characters in any way. They told me if I wanted to develop my own characters, I was free to do that, which I did with characters like Master Sebrian and Mara and Drissy and other characters. And they gave me the kind of latitude that Mattel had always given me. And I said, hey, fantastic, I can't wait. Went home, and bam, I pound out this series Bible, over 100 pages, in a week. And I deliver it to Mark. I'm living in LA at the time, and their offices were on Sunset. And walk in to deliver the series Bible, and Jean is there. And I haven't seen him since the company was taken over, and it was so good to see him. He's not just an associate, he's my friend. This is the guy that got me started in the television industry. And he's not an emotional guy, but I don't care. I hugged him and everything, wished him well and everything, thanked him for this new opportunity. And 2 days later, Mark calls me up. No changes on the series Bible. Nothing from Mattel. Nothing from Jetlag. Go ahead and write the 5 episodes. Okay, I pound out these 5 episodes. And, you get into the zone sometimes. And that's what I was on writing those first 5 episodes. And, a couple months pass, and Mark calls me up, and he says, look, we fast-tracked all the animation, he said, in the voice recordings, and he says, I got to tell you, Mattel loves what you did. And we're going to have a premiere of the 5 episodes. Now I understand why he wanted to have them linked together. He says, we're taking over the MGM Theater in Culver City, and we're going to have a premiere. He says, I want you to come. I said, I'm thrilled, I didn't know what I was getting into. Walk into the MGM Theater, and there's 1,500 kids in the theater. And Skeletor and He-Man are up on a stage, and they're duking it out with swords, and the kids are screaming, And they start running the movie, and the kids are going absolutely crazy. So, and there's Mattel executives there, and I'm just kind of glancing at them. What can I tell you? I've got my stride back. What can I tell you? I'm Jack Olesker, okay? So the next Monday, Mark calls me. He says, they were just blown away by the response. He says, we got the pickup for the whole 65 episodes. So we want you to write episodes for it. And, you can't write all the episodes, obviously. It's 60 episodes remaining. I said, okay. I said, I can, parcel some of them out to other people. We can hire a story editor for some of them. I said, how many episodes can I write? And Mark says the words that every writer in a series, you're dying to hear these words. He says, as many episodes as you want. Well, fast forward, I wrote 37 episodes of The New Adventures of He-Man. In a space of maybe 4 months, I'm writing 2-3 a week. And that, not only am I writing the scripts that are 30 pages long, but I'm writing the story springboards, I'm writing the beat outlines, and then I'm going to script. And never once did I get a call from Mattel on one of the story springboards saying we don't like this. Never once did I get notes on the beat outlines, go right to script. And I don't want to talk about money too much, but it was more money than I'd ever seen in my life. And the show premiered. And I'm going to talk in the next episode about what happened after The New Adventures of He-Man came out, because it's a long and winding road for that part of the franchise. And it's interesting. It'll give you an understanding of how the industry works. The New Adventures of He-Man was unusual, and Kim's telling me I got to wrap this up, but it was unusual because it was one of the first, maybe the first, children's animated television series that was a continuing series. From episode to episode, the story continued, okay? They weren't standalones. They were continuing series, and it laid the groundwork for spectacular series like The Last Airbender, Avatar, The Last Airbender, which was a continuing story. So for that, it was really exciting for me. And I'll get into more of the specifics about The New Adventures of He-Man in the next episode, because it's an interesting story that really it ended up stretching over a period of about 30 years. See you for the next episode. Like us, subscribe. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.